If you're believing that better habits are the key to beating self-sabotage this year, then think again. If you've ever tried to change your habits, you wake up earlier, you eat healthier, you're trying to be more productive, only to fall back into your old patterns, it's not because you lack willpower or discipline. Those who are actually overcoming self-sabotage are addressing the root cause and getting lasting results. Right now, millions of people are unconsciously sabotaging their relationships, their careers, and their health without even realizing that they're in their own way. But those who are having tremendous success overcoming self-sabotaging behaviors are not forcing new habits. They don't have to remember to be different. They're doing the deep work that's necessary in order to transform their subconscious mind. Let's go over the 5 signs that you might be self-sabotaging. First one is you're aware of the problem, but you can't seem to break the cycle. I had a client, we'll call her Rebecca, and she struggled in relationships. She was in her late 60s, she had a successful career, made an amazing living, lived in a beautiful home, and had great friends, and traveled the world. She had everything in her life figured out except for romantic relationships. She didn't understand how she could achieve all her goals, except she couldn't apply these same principles that got her success in all these other areas of her life to love. And she was doing the work. She had read piles of self-help books, and it wasn't changing anything. She had been going to talk therapy, and it wasn't moving her forward. She found herself leaving talk therapy and ending up in the same situation. But she was determined to put an end to this. Her biggest fear was that she would never be able to reach her goal of finding someone that she could spend the rest of her life with. The problem was her mind convinced her that there was always someone better out there. The thing is, once she got into a relationship, her mind started to focus on all their flaws, and then she became super annoyed. And these were good men, and she didn't understand what was going on. Why was she so annoyed all of a sudden? What she realized is that she was looking for Mr. Perfect, and she realized that her pattern of looking for Mr. Perfect wasn't allowing her to have what she really wanted. The first step that led to her ending her self-sabotaging behavior was that she realized it wasn't about them. It had something to do with what was going on with her that needed to change. She had to change herself if she wanted to see a different result in her life. Consciously, she wanted to find a loving relationship with someone she could spend the rest of her life with. But her subconscious mind was keeping her single. Through our work together, she discovered that her subconscious mind didn't feel safe depending on others. Rebecca grew up in a home with a mother who had her at a young age, and she really wasn't ready to be a mother. She wasn't responsible, nor was she attentive to her daughter's needs. There were many instances, which we uncovered in our sessions, where little Rebecca was trapped in situations that could have resulted in her losing her life due to the negligence of her mother. Rebecca's subconscious mind learned at an early age that she could not depend on anyone. And this is why it appeared on the surface that Rebecca was sabotaging her relationships, where deep down, her subconscious mind was doing its best to keep her safe and out of harm's way. To her subconscious mind, if she were to depend on someone, that could mean death. And the number one job of your subconscious mind is to keep you safe. And her subconscious mind was doing a phenomenal job at that. Rebecca's success was a result of getting her subconscious and conscious mind to get on the same page. Her self-sabotaging behaviors in love were a result of a misalignment of her subconscious and conscious mind. It was imperative to her success that we update her subconscious mind so that depending upon a partner, a man who loved her, cared for her, and would do anything for her, is actually a safe choice. After updating her subconscious mind in a few sessions, she was actually able to accomplish her goal and find someone she could spend the rest of her life with. The second sign that you might be self-sabotaging is when you resist growth even when you know you need it. Like I said before, the subconscious mind wants you to stay alive. This is its number one job. So it's going to hold on tightly to the identity that you currently have because this is what's working to keep you alive. So the subconscious mind will resist any opportunity that would result in change, evolution, or growth. It will come up with any excuse in the book, like I can't afford it, I don't have the time, I need to talk this over with my partner. You know what I'm talking about. You've used these excuses. I've used these excuses. You gotta understand that your subconscious mind doesn't care about the quality of your life. It only cares about the quantity of your life. This is how long you live. And it will stick to what it knows because that's what's working to keep you alive. It does not care if you're miserable. It only cares that you're alive. And if it knows how to live and survive a soul-sucking job or relationship, then it will choose that. Did you know that 95% of your decisions actually come from your subconscious mind? And 5% of your decisions come from your conscious mind? That means 5% of your decisions you're actually conscious of. And 95% of the decisions that you're making are outside of your conscious awareness. What I'm about to share with you is very important. I want you to listen to this. If you really want to overcome self-sabotage, you have to understand that your subconscious mind wants you to stay where you are. If and only if you want the quality of your life to improve, you have to update your subconscious mind to know that it can survive the life that you desire. People who are successful in overcoming self-sabotage know this. Okay, the third sign that you might be self-sabotaging is that you feel overwhelmed or paralyzed when you're trying to move forward. And just so you know, I'm changing all the names of these people that I worked with to protect their identity, but I am sharing their story with you so that it can make more sense as to what their block was, how they were sabotaging, and how they were able to overcome it. So Ellie, I'm making up a name here, she was a client of mine. And she had a goal. She wanted to start her own business and leave her soul-sucking job. But every time she sat down to work, she'd freeze, she'd feel paralyzed, and her brain felt like it was spinning, and she was unable to move forward. In fact, she thought she had ADD, and that was the reason she couldn't get anything done in her business. Little did she know she didn't have ADD. What was really stopping her was her subconscious mind. Anytime she tried to put herself out there, whether it was making a YouTube video, trying to write a newsletter, or even sitting down to write an outline for her book, she was overcome with an immense amount of fear and anxiety, and she just couldn't move forward. And through our work together, she discovered that her subconscious mind had linked being seen with getting attacked. When we go back to Ellie's childhood, we can see that she grew up in a household where her father was an alcoholic. He would drink every day, and he'd get easily annoyed at any loud noise that was happening in the house. When Ellie was younger, she would put on plays with her sister, and she'd be proud to show her parents the act that she just created. But Ellie's father would shut her down and give her a verbal backhanded slap just to get her to stop. This was a repeated childhood experience for Ellie, and what her subconscious mind learned was that it was better to not be heard and to not be seen. And the anxiety that she felt that was paralyzing for her was actually her subconscious mind trying to protect her. It was giving her a warning sign to keep her safe from the attack of her father. What we needed to do was update Ellie's subconscious mind. This behavior kept her safe when she was younger, and it's a beautiful behavior that the subconscious mind created, but as an adult, it's keeping her stuck. Once we updated her subconscious mind to let it know that it's safe to be seen, her anxiety went down from a 10 to a 2, and Ellie was able to leave her job and start a successful business. The thing you have to understand is that your subconscious mind is like the operating system on your phone. If the software isn't updated, apps are going to crash, the screen's going to freeze, and calls are going to drop. You might even try downloading new apps, which is like starting a new habit, and then you realize that this doesn't last, it's not working properly. But what needs to happen is we need to update the operating system on the phone so that it can run more smoothly. When you update your subconscious mind, it's like updating the operating system in your mind. Once you do that, you won't have to remember to be different. You will just be different, only without the constant struggle and fighting against yourself. The fourth sign that you might be self-sabotaging is that you have a threshold for happiness. Things seem to be going well, and then you sabotage them. So this happens a lot in relationships. Things are going well in our relationships, and then we pick a fight. This happens in business. We start making money, but then we start spending it all. We reach our ideal weight, and then we start making poor choices with food, and then we gain all the weight back. Let me know if this sounds like something you've experienced. Share with me in the comments down below how this has shown up for you and how it makes you feel. This can even show up when we're doing well in one area of our life, and then we unconsciously sabotage another area of our life just to balance out the scales. For instance, things are going well in your relationship, but then you're sabotaging your health. So why does this happen? Well, this has a lot to do with the subconscious mind wanting you to belong to your tribe, your original family. And in order to guarantee your belonging to your family, you can't really have it be better than what they had. If it was better, then the subconscious mind sees that as a potential threat. This is very primitive. Your subconscious mind ensures your survival by having you be like the group. If you're like the group, then the group will want you around. And this is a good way to guarantee that you'll have protection. It's like a bucket of crabs. If one crab tries to escape the bucket, the other crabs pull it back in, tear off its arms and legs so that it can't escape. And the subconscious mind fears that if your life is too good, you'll end up like that crab with no arms and legs. So in order to prevent that, it'll have you sabotage another area of your life so that things don't get too good. The fifth sign that you might be self-sabotaging is that you have a disconnection between your goals and your actions. I worked with this young man, we'll call him Paul. Paul was overweight and he wanted to reach his goal weight, and he had signed up for, things like Weight Watchers. He tried counting his calories, he tried measuring his meals, he even had that lap band surgery, and he was going to the gym and he would start to make progress, and as soon as he was about to reach his goal, bam, he would stop doing what was working and he would go back to his old ways. gaining all the weight back and sometimes even more. When Paul came to me, he was confused as to why this kept happening. Two things were blocking Paul from having success. He had grown up in a family of overweight people. If he lost the weight, this could violate his right to belong to his family. And this other thing was really eye-opening for Paul because he didn't even see how this could have anything to do with his weight issue. I decided to explore Paul's weight issue by doing some ancestral trauma healing. And what we uncovered was that the weight that Paul was carrying was his subconscious mind's way of protecting him to keep him safe. But safe from what? Nothing had ever happened to Paul. What we discovered was that up Paul's ancestral line, we learned that his grandmother had been violated by her father repeatedly. And this was a secret that was kept in Paul's family. And Paul's weight issue was actually a way to bring that secret to the surface. If you'd like to read a great book about ancestral trauma healing and how it actually impacts us, a great book is It Didn't Start With You. This is by Mark Wallen. He shares a lot of stories about ancestral trauma and how the trauma of our ancestors can impact us right here, right now. This is part of the work that I do in order to help people not self-sabotage. After our work together, Paul was able to use all the tactics and tools that he had learned to lose weight. The difference was that Paul was successfully able to keep the weight off now. If you've read books and listened to podcasts or spent thousands of hours on therapy and still feel stuck, it's not because you're broken. It's because the real shift has to happen at a subconscious level. And that's exactly what I do to help people. I work with ambitious, self-driven people who are ready to transform. If you're someone who takes responsibility for your growth, determined to reach your goals, and understands that true transformation comes from within, then I want to invite you to a complimentary 15-minute Zoom call with me. This will not be available forever, so grab your spot while it lasts. The link is in the description below, and I look forward to helping you eliminate self-sabotage once and for all.